Hey friends, it's John. You're on the JRB Tree Climbing channel. I've got a couple options for you here when it comes to rigging a rope into a tree using the previously described JRB End Loop. So here in my left hand, I've got 3 ropes, each of which has a JRB End Loop version 2. Please see the prior video. The End Loop is used for rope rigging such that it's got a really sleek profile. The diameter of it is basically that of the rope or smaller, and allows us to pass it through some tight passages. And I've got some content coming up where I'm going to be using this in SRT configurations, and I want you to be able to see in detail the optimal way to tie it and the different options. So this here in black in 2mm cord is the JRB End Loop version 2. And what we're going to be concentrating on down here are the different options for how to affix it. And I'll take you from the oldest to the newest. So here on 8mm rope, I've got a piece of paracord. This constitutes my paracord preset, which is simply got an overhand knot. I'll leave it in the tree this way, and it's got a loop such that I can just come to the tree and clip my climbing rope on. Now the JRB End Loop, I like to have this stainless steel boat clip. They're available in brass or stainless steel. See my website for product availability. But I like to have this such that it is removable, but it can't fall off. And so this is really simple in terms of how we would affix this. Let's dive in just a little bit on the zoom. And so we'll simply pass this through. We'll pass this loop through. And if I just do a girth hitch by popping this over the top, I mean, that's secure, but it's strong, but this could come off, right? It's that easy to get off. And so in order to ensure that that won't happen, I'll usually put it on this way. I go through the front, doesn't really matter, the front or the back, and then I'll pop it inside of the clip. And in that light, it can't come off. And so with it in this fashion, it's easy to attach that to your loop. That's pretty straightforward. So that's option 1, and I'll use that from my DSRT. I've also shown you how we can use the running highwayman's hitch for this, and it works great. It's just a little bit more bulky. If I pass my finger here over the rope and then pass it over this running highwayman's hitch, well, this is slightly more bulky. So when we want the most minimalist scenario or profile, we won't use this, but I'll just show you quick how to tie it. I will pass the paracord through the loop. And I've got a nice long bit to work with here in my right hand. You can feel that out. I pass the working end over the standing end, forming a bite which goes over the standing end. And I go around the back with the working end, and I go over that bite. And still working with the working end, I put a bite through. I'm going to pause there so you can see it here. I probably have that tied just a little with a little bit more cord, but as I just tighten it here from end to end, it collapses, and I can rig with it in that fashion. You could lock it by putting this through, but I find that unnecessary in most cases. And to release it, that's all we've got to do. But what I want to show you is the simplest of all and the sleekest in profile, and this is a slipped overhand knot. Slipped overhand knot. I mean, it couldn't be more simple, but I want there to be detail, so when I tie it in the field, you're not asking how I tied that knot. So we put in the same fashion as the running highwayman's, I put the paracord through the loop, and now I'm just going to create an overhand knot here. Now this would be an overhand knot, right? If I pull this all the way through, I'd have an overhand knot. I'm just not going to pull it all the way through. I'm just going to pull a bite through. That's it. That is a slipped overhand knot. And again, it's lockable, right? It is lockable, but I find that I generally don't need to lock it. I am able to get this in some pretty tight situations. So it's really easy to tie, really easy to release, and you're going to see that in some canopy anchor applications to come. So I'll just tie it one more time. That's it. That's it. Slipped overhand. And this, you know, I'm pulling here with all the strength in my arms, and that's going to be more than enough to get through the tightest situations, including some of the upcoming canopy anchors using the Maverick hitch. So again, when I pass my hand down over the rope and then over this assembly, it is very small. Okay, look for that in a canopy anchor near you coming soon.